The team from the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization heads to Southwest Virginia to investigate a Bigfoot sighting the locals have dubbed the Beast of Gum Hill. With limited reports from this region, the team is surprised when they hear an outpouring of recent eyewitness accounts.
This thing was looking at me eyeball to eyeball. The thing was huge.
Using this information to zero in on a hotspot, the team deploys a new Bigfooting strategy.
God, look at that. That's insane.
All to prove the Beast of Gum Hill is more than just a local legend.
Dude, I think they're here.
It was possibly large. It definitely wasn't human.
I've been tracking Sasquatches for 25 years.
These animals, in fact, are real.
I've seen them. They're here.
I'm having a really difficult time finding an explanation for this.
There's something on the hill.
I do think there's a squatch in these woods.
The team and I have traveled to Southwest Virginia, where the legend of Bigfoot dates back to the mid-1800s. For years, locals have referred to this elusive creature as the Woodbooger, a name derived from the boogeyman, because he creeps through the woods and reportedly spies on kids at night. We're here today to investigate a video known as the Beast of Gum Hill, which purports to show a Bigfoot striding across a creek in front of a man on an ATV. Although Southwest Virginia has had relatively few Bigfoot sightings, with only a dozen or so reports over the last 10 years, this region's long-held Woodbooger legend makes it worth looking into. So we're going to meet with Chuck Newton. He was the guy in this footage who was on the ATV riding that thing up that creek when that squatch crossed up maybe 100 feet further up. We'll see when we get there. He saw it, he got a closer look even than the camera, and he's going to know right where it was. He's probably going to know a good bit about the area. Just first glance, looking at it, I don't think it's a hustle. When we saw this video, there was something about it that seemed very natural. And from personal experience, I know that there's Bigfoots in the Appalachians. All those things coming together made me think, okay, this should be checked out.
Why is this creature crossing a river when there's ATVs in it? They would be really loud. I mean, I'm sure they could hear them splash in the water, who've been hollering, having a good time, and it's going to pop out of the woodline across the river. It doesn't make any sense in regards to animal behavior. ATVs are loud. And if I'm a Bigfoot and I don't want to be seen, the last thing I'm going to do is go towards an ATV and cross a creek right in front of it. That makes absolutely zero sense for an animal that wants to remain elusive.
A lot of people do forget that the encounters always last longer than what the film shows. There is a before story, there's an after story, and only by meeting with the witness can we discover those things. I think Renee's concerns are unfounded about the behavior of the creature. We have not been to the site. We don't know what the situation was. We need to know the layout of the land. Sasquatches are not dumb. Perhaps the creature couldn't have gone the other direction.
I want to talk to Chuck to see how much further could you see where it went. Did you guys track it? Did you find the prints? And what did it do? How did it react?
I was back going, I don't know what it is, and I want to get to that spot and see where it was filmed. Is there game trails right there? Is there a reason a squatch would cross there? I want to get there on location and see for myself.
How's it going? Hey. How you doing?
So we get out to the location, and there's Chuck. And as promised, he had a whole bunch of ATVs waiting there for us.
Let's get up there and take a look at the spot.
All right, let's hop on the bikes and go.
Yeah, good.
I want to see you ride like that again. I want to see you ride like that. I'm trying. I want to.
The fact that we have to take ATVs in there is kind of a good sign. It shows you it's not right up next to a picnic area or some kind of a rest stop where there might be all sorts of people walking around the woods. It's far enough back in that you need wheels to get in there. ATVs are the modern force for checking out the landscape in America.
This is it? This is it?
After a little bit of trail riding, we got to the spot that Chuck said this is where it happened. Now, the actual location looks very different. He said that the original encounter occurred in July, and there'd been a lot of rain. Well, we're here in the fall, and the creek is considerably lower.
So Chuck, we can see this is the spot. We got that rock marker, that rock marker. What exactly did you see?
We get into the creek here, and I'm like, hey, let's hit one more spot. So I start down here, riding up, jumping, doing some things. And I see slowly something pop out from behind the foliage there. It looked, and then turned and kept walking. And I was like, guys, we've got to end the day here. I don't know what that is, but I don't want to be in the woods with it.
So I'm going to walk up there about where we think it crossed and have all of you help me get in position where it was, and we'll do the recreation and try to get a size comparison.
One of the reasons we like Bobo to be the stand-in is because he's so big. He's in that size range that a medium-sized Bigfoot would be. And if the figure is about the average man size, it's going to be smaller than Bobo. And that'll be plainly obvious. Bobo, why don't you go ahead and walk across? She's going to film.
All right, you ready?
Ready?
Okay, Chuck. Remember to point, and then when Bobo's in the right position, when it looked at you, tell him now. Whenever you're ready, Bobs.
Now.
Pointing, Chuck.
How did I look, Chuck? Was that about similar speed? Or?
Looked about right, yeah.
When we put Bobo and Chuck in their positions, the first thing that jumped out at me was how close together they were. Chuck got a really good look at whatever this thing was. I have to wonder, is that an issue of credibility, or could it be that he was overwhelmed at seeing something that he found unidentifiable? Okay, so let's look at Bobo's recreation. Right away, I see Bobo's white hat. Even though he's wearing green shirt and green pants, you can see that they're different hues, even from this distance, on the same camera. The fact that I could see clothing on Bobo, but not on the figure itself, I find kind of compelling.
But I'm also noticing that Bobo is larger than the original figure.
Assuming we had the right distance.
Looking at the two videos side by side, Bobo is larger than the figure in the original video. There's no reason at all for me to believe that's a Sasquatch. That could just be a guy in dark clothing. What do you think, Chuck? Seeing the two next to each other doing this recreation, what's your summation?
I'm not sure. I still cannot speculate on this.
Do you think, as I do that, it would be kind of strange for a human to cross just a few yards in front of you and not wave or acknowledge you or just glance at you? It seems like kind of an unfriendly thing.
I would think, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, if people were rolling up or something on me, I might would step out and like, hey, raise my hand in greeting or something like that instead of walk across and glance at them menacingly.
Even just a wave like, don't run me over.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the creek where you're riding. Please don't hit me. Maybe you actually have a Sasquatch here, maybe not. But the fact that the legend is here of the Woodbooger makes me want to go see if we can get one. One of the local old-timers here on Gum Hill would warn his grandchildren to not go in the woods after dark because the Woodbooger will get them. Well, the Woodbooger is obviously another name for a Sasquatch. The fact that Sasquatches are part of the mythology and lore of this area tells me a lot. We need to do a night investigation in this spot to get to the bottom of that mystery alone.
This is epic territory.
Well, it's some rocky terrain, so I know if it makes some sounds in here, it's going to carry through this valley quite a ways. The echoes should be pretty good.
Tonight's plan is this. Renee and I are going to go off one direction. Matt and Bobo are going to go off in another direction. What we're going to do is we're going to go up into these hollows and make calls back and forth and hopefully get some action.
We're getting high elevation fast.
Yeah. And these hills, they're steep, but they're not really terribly high up. Maybe 500 feet, the most. Hey, Cliff and Renee, do you copy?
I got you.
Okay, Cliff, why don't you go for a nice, long, shrieky?
Okay, here it comes.
Renee. That way, that way.
Right there?
Yeah, that way. There's something up that way. 2 breaks in a row.
Watch it here.
2 breaks in a row. Down that way.
I just heard breathing.
Get on it.
I am.
Hey, we just got a knock.